is your back right now? No, really. I mean, have you moved in the last, say, 30 minutes? Didn't think so, because the vast majority of people who actually sit at a desk, they pretty much sit there for at least an hour at a time. And so what happens is that over the day we just get stiffer and stiffer and stiffer. But don't worry, because I have your back. Hi, my name's Kamina Sue, and in this video I'm going to share with you how you can get a more flexible back. So if you have a really stiff back, the chances are you also have a really weak core, which you're going to be addressing in a few moments. But first of all, let's just get a little bit of blood sort of flowing around our upper back and our shoulders. So let's go ahead and take a chair, and you're going to bring your elbows to the very tip of the edge of the chair, and then you're just going to go ahead and move your hips back like so. Inhaling here, exhaling. Go ahead and bring your your hands back towards your head, and making sure we're keeping the hips and the rib cage in one line. Don't do this because you're really getting more of an opening in your lower back. We want to target the upper back, so that's why you want to see if you can feel the space behind the heart getting a little bit of a bend here and a stretch. So this is a thoracic spine and shoulder opener. Let's be here for a good 30 seconds to 1 minute. Long, slow, deep breathing. So after we've gotten our thoracic spine and shoulders a little bit warmed up with that stretch, we're now going to do just a couple of other things. So the first thing we're going to be doing are simple shoulder rolls. So here we're just going to go ahead and inhale, bring the shoulders up towards the ears, exhaling, rolling them down back behind you. And just really being nice and deliberate with this movement. So we don't want to rush it. See if you can almost savor the sensation of your shoulders getting more blood, more circulation, and slowly starting to release their tension. So inhaling, the shoulders up towards the ears. Exhaling, shoulder blades are moving down your back, shoulders are moving away from the ears. And doing that about 10 times. So after we've done our shoulder rolls, we're now just going to do some spinal circles. So here, I'm just going to go ahead and place your hands on your knees, and then move your spine in a nice big circle. Long, slow, deep breathing. See if you can keep your shoulders relaxed while you're doing this. See if you can actually keep your belly nice and soft. Face and jaw soft. So maybe doing about 5 circles in one direction and then switching to the opposite direction. So we're now going to move on now to some cat-cow breathing. We're just going to move into some extension and flexion, first of all of the thoracic spine and then of the entire spine. So this first one here is cat-cow breathing sitting on the heels. So you're just going to be coming on, sitting on the heels and placing the hands shoulder distance apart, inhaling, rolling the shoulders away from the ears as you lift your chest, and then exhaling, rounding the back as much as you can and breathing out between the shoulder blades. Go ahead and repeat this about 5 to 10 more times, depending on how much time you have and how stiff you are. Nice. So once you're satisfied here, you're now going to move into the conventional cat-cow breathing. So this is where we're going to come onto our hands and knees, placing the hands shoulder distance apart, placing the knees hip distance apart, and making sure the knees are directly underneath the hips. We're going to take an inhalation, lifting the head, the chest, and the sit bones as we press the floor away. This is spinal extension. And then at the top of that inhalation, when you can't inhale anymore, go ahead and slowly exhale. I'm going to be dropping the head, relaxing the head, lifting the navel up into the spine, breathing out behind the heart. So we've gotten a little bit of movement and some blood circulating around our back, our shoulders, hopefully relieving some of the stiffness. We're now going to go into a couple of exercises which are going to address the long-term reason why you do have a really stiff back, and that is core weakness. So the main muscle that I like to target when it comes to strengthening our core is the transverse abdominis, or the TVA muscle, the primary stabilizer of our spine, and it lies underneath the visible muscles in our torso. So often it can be difficult to know if you're targeting it or not, and these next two exercises I'm going to show you should help you identify what it feels like and be able to recreate that feeling in any kind of exercises that you're doing. So this first one here is where we're just going to be simply lying on our backs and connecting the front and back of our core. And we're going to do this by lying on our back and then bringing the feet up towards the ceiling. So, and having the knees directly above the hips. What we're going to do is we're going to take an inhalation, rolling the shoulders away from your ears, pressing your lower back into the floor. Exhaling, you're going to press your hands into your thighs and then push your thighs back into your hands. So you're actually creating an isometric action here. And with this isometric action, you should feel like a hollowing out of your belly and almost feeling like you're suctioning your insides or your core down towards the floor. And so that is what the TVA activation feels like. Good. So you want to be pressing here and creating this isometric contraction for about 10 seconds. Committing what that feels like to memory. And then after that, go ahead and place your feet on the floor, place your hands on your belly, and repeating that about 3 times. So you can really kind of get into your head what that feels like. So this next exercise is going to build upon what we were feeling in the previous exercise. This is called the set point. So this is an activation and also a strengthening exercise for the TVA, and it's really effective. So what we're going to do is we're going to come back onto our backs with a yoga block. You can also use a book, or you can even use like a cushion. At least you've got something to put in between your thighs so you can actually engage your adductors, and it also helps to activate your pelvic floor. Let's go ahead and come to lying on your back, inhaling, bringing the arms over the head, bringing the feet off the ground, pressing your lower back into the ground. Exhaling, you're going to bring your arms forward, bringing your legs forward. You're going to lower your legs down right before you feel your lower back about to lift off. Now, if you bring your legs down too close to the floor, your lower back will probably want to lift off, and that is where your TVA disengages. Okay, so you want to bring your legs right down to the floor right before you feel that action, and that is your set point. If you stay right there, you will increase the strength of your transverse abdominis. So you want to be here for about 30 seconds, long, slow, deep breathing. Have the palms facing up so you can actually, and really engage with those fingertips so you can actually get in touch with your scapula. If you find this is actually quite challenging, feel free to keep the legs bent and have your head on the ground. Okay, so whichever variation you choose, either the full version or the slightly modified version, go ahead and do about 3 to 5 sets of set points for about 30 seconds. So we've just been working our TVA, and we're now going to work on stretching out what we have been working. So let's go ahead and come to grab your Swiss ball. This is a 65 centimetre one, a slightly bigger one. And go ahead and just lie over the ball. So making sure that you've got your upper back more on the ball than your lower back, and then relax your head and then just let those arms extend out and just breathing here. I'd be here for a good 30 to 60 seconds and just really enjoying the feeling of being completely supported on the ball and just letting your body relax here. Feeling the front body getting a nice stretch. And see if you can also picture your TVA, that wonderful muscle we've just been working, slightly contracting around your torso. So it's like your body's natural corset, and sometimes it's really good to use visualization to picture it actually working. So picture it tightening around your torso and supporting your spine. So after you've enjoyed that rather yummy back bend on the Swiss ball, we're now going to do a little bit of a counter pose with a forward fold. And I like to do forward folds with a chair, especially if I'm feeling really stiff, or for people who are really stiff on their backs. So here, just going to place your hands on the chair, inhaling here, exhaling, go ahead and just gently fold forward, placing the head on the chair if it feels nice, and seeing if you can really lift your sit bones and get some space here in your lower back. Now, if you're having trouble straightening your legs, it's totally fine to do this with bent knees. Just sort of feel like you're moving your hips back, and you can even get even more of a spinal extension here, even if your hamstrings are totally open. And then go ahead and gently start to straighten those legs if you have the access with your hamstring mobility. Most important thing here is just completely relax and breathe. So be here for another 60 seconds here as well. I like to use a chair, but if you are finding that that isn't as comfortable for whatever reason, you can just simply go ahead and hold your elbows and let the spine dangle here. This is also a lovely way to do a simple forward fold, either with the knees slightly bent here, so you can dangle the spine a little bit more, or you can completely straighten the legs. So there you have it. The simple sequence, if you do this regularly, will give you a wonderful mobility and feeling of freedom in your upper back and your shoulders. So if you found this video useful, please subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.